Yo, what is going on, you guys? So I woke up this morning and then I saw a lot of stuff in my feed about this Ghost of Yotei controversy, which is kind of silly, in my opinion. But I thought, it'd be fun to make a video about this because, I don't really weigh in on stuff like this, but when it happens in the community that I'm mostly active on, then I feel like I should. But yeah, so this is not, I don't really have a script for this. I was just kind of going to comment, kind of freestyle it. And usually that leads to me rambling a whole bunch, but I'll try to keep it concise. So some of the stuff that I was seeing here, let's take a look. Okay, so there's, for example, this one. Where is that? I should have it handy. There we go. Okay, so this video on my feed that popped up, talking about forced diversity and, sweet baby, which I guess it's like maybe like some sort of content creators or some media presence that, social media presence that influences things from what I hear. I don't really know much about them, but Jin Sakai is dead. And this is something that I also saw people talk about with in relation to Assassin's Creed Shadows, how there's a lot of, I think even someone said even Elon Musk was talking about diversity, equality and inclusivity, or some DEI, I think is the term for it. Jin Sakai is dead, blah, blah, blah. This other one, Ghost of Yotei, enrages some fans of Ghost of Tsushima. Some fans, which I think that's a distinction, fans. Then even like the one community that I'm active on, as far as, I do check stuff from different, like the main subreddit and some other stuff. I'm also part of the main subreddit's Discord. And, this one, my friend Benny he made a post. He's an admin on the Ghost of Tsushima Legends Facebook, the main Facebook group, saying, "Attention everyone, the rules are now updated to address the controversy surrounding the recently announced Ghost of Yotei. To summarize, it is a topic that can break this community apart, so we're just going to stick to discussing the game itself. We can keep it a fun, positive place to meet up and play online. Do give it a thorough read and enter the acknowledgement phrase in the comments below. Meanwhile, the admin's mods will be locking up threats regarding this topic. You will not be penalized, but moving forward, we will do what we must to keep this community positive." Now, that's already a lot of drama. Then I posted on that same Facebook group. I had posted the last reaction video that I made, and this one guy commented, which is I feel like you're seeing both extremes, right? You're seeing the people that are very upset that it's not Jin, and they're not having any of this, female protagonist business. They just immediately, went to call it a forced diversity or woke or whatever. And then there's people like this guy that's a little bit more balanced, which is why I would like to, read what he said. He said, "I knew Ghost trailer will come out eventually. I thought it would be a sequel with Jin, and they've been working on it for 4 years, but I didn't know it was that day. I was fucking hype when I saw the trailer on the highway. Yes, I know I was on a motorcycle, and I played video because I didn't want to miss the state of play after work. After realizing at home safe and sound that Jin would be just a memory," and then parenthesis, legend, "I was disappointed, but I'm sure I'm getting that." But for sure, I'm getting the deluxe and maybe not collector since Jin is not there. So I think this is great. This guy. I am going to try and get the deluxe, even though I never go for those, just on a side note. But I mean the deluxe, the collectors or whatever. But I think this is actually pretty funny. I mean, because he's like obviously a little bit conflicted because he didn't get, he was expecting, which I get that, if you're expecting the sequel to be something and you're a fan and for 4 years you've been trying to think about what the sequel with Jin could be about, and then all of a sudden it's different. But anyway, I was disappointed. I'm sure. Blah, blah, blah. I was really attached to this character in the end. I'm glad we got a new Ghost soon enough, but it is a good choice to expand and make 10 Ghost games like AC, Assassin's Creed, and eventually they screwed up. Or I would just prefer just a trilogy with Jin and call it that. Anyway, we'll still pre-order and can't wait to play it. So, I mean, that's another really cool thing, right? You're seeing this. It's not only just black and white. You're also seeing this. People are conflicted, but still trying to be supportive. Still, I mean, that's another thing. It's incredible to me that people will be so upset about a game that hasn't come out yet. It was just literally just announced, and you're hating on a game that, if you end up playing it, you don't know if it's going to blow your mind. You don't know if it's going to be better than the first one. I have a lot of faith that Sucker Punch is going to deliver. They've earned our trust, and there's nothing really on this trailer that tells me that it's not going to be, even if not just as good, even better. But this other person, which is another really interesting take, posted on the main Ghost of Tsushima Facebook group. I guess mostly Westerner males are disappointed that the protagonist is a woman. Stop acting like you don't know that Onimusha and Onabugeisha existed during that time period. For us Asians, it is expected because female warriors during that time don't get much credit. So now that's another really cool perspective, and it's not all just Westerners. And even though a lot of the market for video games is, a Western market, but there's also historical evidence that there were female warriors. And I think one of the posts that I saw was somebody saying it was not believable. They didn't think it was believable it would be believable to have the new Ghost be a female warrior. So, and then these other articles that I've found. Ghost of Yotei, Erika Ishii had enough of the unjust hate over female lead Atsu as she takes bold step against toxic fans. So I don't know anything about her. I actually just, after I saw the announcement, I Googled her, and all I saw was her IMDb, and I saw that she was in a bunch of video games, including some that I've played, like Last of Us, but apparently she's just like, was like a additional voice or something like that. But yeah, she apparently is a very outspoken person, which can be problematic, and I'm sure Sucker Punch, had considered that whenever they cast her as the main lead. I don't think it's going to be, I think this is just going to blow over probably in a few months. Now it's, it literally was just announced 3 days ago. So, it'll pass. People are going to get over it. But yeah, so this other person on Twitter said, which is another funny take, top 3 things you should never do if you want your AAA game to be a success according to history. Number 1, I'll say you should never do. So number 1, hire a militant woke activist who hates half your audience as your protagonist. Now, he kind of has a point. I don't have anything against her. I'm sure she's great, and I'm sure she's gonna kill it with this role. But yeah, from what I've been seeing on Twitter, somebody posted, I think actually this person posted some of her tweets, and she seems like a very vocal person. She doesn't seem like someone who shies away from, telling it like it is, and I mean, apparently she's part of the LGBTQ community. She's, she uses pronouns, which that already is I guess, a reason to be angry for some people. Like, that's like a non-starter for a lot of people when people use pronouns. I personally don't give a shit. You can call yourself a chair if you want to. But yeah, for some people, apparently that's a problem. But anyway, so yeah, she's apparently, I mean, she comes across as a little angry, which I would think that's a little bit problematic. Sorry about that. I'm not going to edit it out. Number 2, have big executives tell gamers, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Especially with games that are flopping that, I guess supposedly cost 400 million. I've seen different accounts of that. Some people are saying there's actually more like 150 million, and some people are saying no, it's definitely 400 million. Concord or whatever. And now with AC Shadows, people are saying that all kinds of things. But anyway, so number 3, preemptively block everyone defending your game in case they are chuds. Ghost of Yotei has some problems with their marketing and spokesperson. And I do know, I don't know, it's Andrew. I've talked to one of the community manager persons, Andrew, and he seems pretty nice. He seems to be like, on top of it. But yeah, the marketing team maybe. And this other article says, "Oh, it's a woman. It must be woke. Haters should at least stop doubting Ghost of Yotei's decision to ditch Jin Sakai." I mean, ditch is a bit of a strong word, for Atsu after Red Dead Redemption's success. So I was not around for that. Like I wasn't really gaming. I picked up gaming during the pandemic, but this article makes a reference, I guess, to the lead, John something, I forget what the fuck his name is. But yeah, the lead character in the first Red Dead game, Red Dead Redemption, and then the second one was like a different character. Although I think I played a little bit of Red Dead too. I think Arthur Morgan is like in the first game or something. So it's not like a completely new character, on a different time period. But there's this other one that says, "Ignore them. They're insignificant. Arthur Morgan's VA back in Ghost of Yotei's female lead is how we know the game is set to outshine even Tomb Raider." This other one, "Hate against Ghost of Yotei because of Erika Ishii's decisions in personal life is just unwarranted and distasteful." I mean, I guess that's a point to be made, especially because it doesn't seem like she's using that to promote any kind of, injustice. Actually, she's doing the opposite. So it's controversial because she's outspoken, and because of what I've seen so far, she like I said, she can come across as a little bit angry. So I don't know. I feel like you can have personal politics, but as long as you don't spread hate, it should be kind of your business. If you're trying to make the world a better place and you're trying to rid the world of discrimination or bigotry or whatever it is, I think that's in my book is a good decision. Now, how you go about it is your personal choice. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way things have been going. If you take a look at how we've evolved, trying to better ourselves and moving away from war or like really brutal ways of existing and treating each other, I think the tendency is, I mean, you should just go read Steven Pinker's Better Angels of Our Nature. It's a pretty good book about that subject, which talks about how the tendency has been moving forward in that direction to kind of be more progressive, more liberal in a way, with stuff like ending slavery and stuff like that. But Anyway, this other one says, who is Erika Ishii? Ghost of Yotei actor is already upsetting bigots who wanted Jin Sakai to return for sequel. So yeah, that's another problem right there. And honestly, this is all stuff that I've been seeing from the less dedicated fan base. Like from what I can tell, all these people, I mean, it's people that buy video games, right, in the end. So as the vast majority of people are quote unquote casual fans of the franchise, in that, they might get attached to the story. They might express support in different ways by buying merchandise, past the video game, buying collectibles or like clothing or, what have you. And that's all good. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is the dedicated fan base, which is people like myself and people that keep playing the game almost on a daily basis. It's a pretty tight-knit community, and we all kind of know each other, more or less, or know of each other, even if we haven't played a lot, or, we've been in a lobby. Chances are, like, if you've been a part of the dedicated, active player base, you've been in a lobby with each other at some point. So a lot of those people, because like it's been crazy, because since the announcement, I started seeing all these old parties, because I never, I'm just lazy. I never delete parties that I'm a part of on PSN. So like I have all these old parties that, people are almost never using, or, a lot of people have left already. And I've seen all these older Ghost of Tsushima parties just come back to life. And it's been great because like everybody's just so stoked. And the people that I do talk to on a regular or semi-regular basis, like a lot of people that I hadn't heard from in a while reached out to me to say, hey, are you fucking losing your mind about this? Because yeah, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, that's the problem of living downtown. It's random ambulances, even though it's pretty early in the morning. But anyway, so yeah, like a lot of people are just losing their mind. Like nobody even, I think there were maybe like a couple of people who were expressing a little bit of disappointment that we didn't get a second part with Jin, which I guess, like I said before, I understand that there were expectations, but most of us were so starved for any kind of news. Like we kind of, I don't think there was ever like a statement, like a confirmation from Sucker Punch directly where they said, hey, this is, we're working on Ghost 2, like just stay tuned or whatever. Like I don't think they ever did that, but it was kind of obvious that that's what they were working on, because that, the first game was a really successful game, and it was kind of a no-brainer. And then with the movie, although the movie has been kind of on a hiatus as far as I know, but anyway, with all that, we kind of knew that Ghost of Tsushima 2 was coming. And so, but the lack of news, was kind of killing everybody. And the excitement, the last thing on my mind was, I have a problem with the lead being a woman. Like that thought literally never crossed my mind. I was just freaking out that there was an announcement for Ghost 2 and that we got to see this sliver, this tiny, tiny glimpse of what the game was gonna look like, some of the elements present, implications for combat and all that stuff. So I think that was most of the people that I talk to on a regular basis, friends that I've met through Ghost, everybody that was excited on the one Discord that, it's just like for friends. It's not really like a big community, but my friend Potato's Discord, which is a lot of people that we all know each other through Ghost. And yeah, everybody was just overjoyed that we had an announcement and a confirmation, and we had a year. We've been speculating a bunch about all kinds of things related to the release and what the game is going to be like and everything. So everybody is just, and then like I said, all these other friends have been hitting me up just to say, "Oh my God, can't believe this is happening finally," and everybody's just like, the dedicated player base for Ghost. I can tell you this: everybody is just losing their minds. Everybody that's anybody. Like all the top players, they're just losing their mind that this game has been confirmed. And the like I said, the more casual player base who are, and I mean casual. They might not be casual gamers. They might be like dedicated gamers that are like, they try to play every big game and buy everything. And those people are also definitely, important. I would argue, arguably more important than any dedicated player base, because those are usually smaller numbers. But yeah, everybody's just been just beside themselves. And I think I had one of the analogies that I had, and this is probably what I'm gonna end with. One of the analogies that I had. I can't talk. I just woke up. Let me drink my coffee. One of the analogies that I had for this was when I was a kid. My mom, she used to have this book of like biblical stories, and we would always take a siesta in the middle of the day, like after lunch. And my mom would always read me one of those, stories in the book. And one of them, I think I remember most of them. But one of them, which I was reminded of with this whole thing, was King Solomon's story. And if you're not familiar with that story, the gist of it is that there were two mothers that came to the king with a dispute, right? And there was a baby, and then the one mother, both of them claimed that they were the mom, and they wanted to have the baby. And so, after much argument, King Solomon said to both of them, this is obviously like a public place, and everybody's paying attention, and everybody's looking to the king to see what he was famous for being the most just king, I think, something like that. And so he came up with the most just decision, which was, okay, well, since none of you seem to agree, I'm going to split this baby in half, and one of you can have one half and the other one can have the other half. And the fake mother, or the not real mother, said that was fine by her. And then the real mother said, no, I would rather she have the baby than the baby dying. So it's kind of the way that I see this thing is like, the kind of quote-unquote fake fans, they would rather see this game not come out, or I don't know what it is, but they would rather just not have anything to do with this iteration of Ghost of Tsushima, and they would just want to have whatever. They just want to have things the way they want. And then you have the real fans, which were like, no, we would rather let go of our whatever expectations we might have with Jen being the lead of the new game. We'd rather let go of that, but let the franchise live, And I personally didn't have any attachment to Jen. I mean, I'm not like that anyway. Like as a person, I don't usually get attached to things like that. I don't know. I would have loved to play a second game with Jen, but also I just want to play a second game. So whatever iteration of that we're going to get, I think is going to be great. And I think that there are people that just want to see this franchise burn because they're not getting what they want. And so let them throw their tantrum. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter. It's already been announced. It's a done deal. So you might as well just wait to see what it's going to be like, and then fucking play it, And then, talk about it. And one thing that it just blows my mind is this whole thing with video games. It's like people are saying that it's not realistic or that they can't identify with the woman being a lead or whatever. And it's like, dude, like the whole thing about Ghost is not. I mean, most 90% of what Jin does is not realistic. Like he can't single-handedly take down a whole army of Mongolians, or like all the shit that he did with the mythical tales and all that. It's like, so yeah, it is a bit. You have to have the ability to suspend your disbelief to some degree, and that's one of the cool things about video games is that they let you embody and go different characters and go on these different journeys. So that's just a bullshit argument in my book. But anyway, I'm just gonna end this because it's already 25 minutes long. So a bit of a rant, but I just wanted to, give my 2 cents on this whole thing, this whole controversy. And I wanted to say before I go, I don't know if Sucker Punch does any beta testing. I would love to play test this game, and I hope my pleas for a beta testing slot don't go unheard.